All right, like I said, we're going to make 2 videos tonight, but I got to thinking I was going to feed the fish and then do the video on doing my first really big water change in that tank. But I got to thinking, you know, I do something when I feed my fish that a lot of people don't take the time to do. I actually target feed my fish. Most people will target feed coral and other things in the tank, anemones and etc., but they don't target feed their fish. And I guess you can call it target feeding or spoon feeding, maybe a better word for it. But I'm going to show you what I do, and it's a little different than maybe what a lot of people do as far as daily feeding. It takes a little extra time, but because of the size of the tank, I don't want to overfeed it and run into a problem with building up an ammonia spike or what have you. It's only a 66-gallon tank, so it would be very easy to overfeed it and have a problem. So again, I'm going to spin the camera around and be right back at you. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, I've got a bunch of goodies laid out here, and you're probably thinking, if you're not in the fish business, oh my God, you're kidding me. But anyway, everybody in the tank eats the same thing, and everybody in the tank eats different things. So I do my best to try to be all things to all people. And what I've got laid out here is a box of frozen mysis shrimp, some Formula 2 by Ocean Nutrition, and what that is mostly a vegetable herbivore mix, for herbivores and omnivore fish. Some cyclopses, which are also frozen. Those coral like them, clowns will eat them a little bit. And this, even though I don't have the box, is brine shrimp. Now to the right, I have got some reef flake, which pretty much everything tangs, and pretty much everything in the tank actually, clowns, tangs, etc. like. And I also have reef pellets, which again, everything in the tank pretty much likes. And the infamous garlic powder. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different items there. A virtual smorgasbord that could really make a mess if you wanted to throw a little bit of each in the tank at one time. So, on the advice of a good friend of mine, I concocted my own mixture. And what I did was took a little bit of everything in different proportion, my own recipes. It's a secret recipe, so I really can't divulge it on YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. I can't remember what it was. But, and mixed it all up in a bowl, and then poured it into the empty one of these. So there is my concoction of a mixture of all of that stuff. There's more mysis and more Formula 2 than there is Cyclops and brine, mainly because the tangs don't like the brine as much as they do the mysis, and the other fish, other than once in a while the clowns, don't eat the Cyclops. So there's not as much Cyclops and brine as in there is mysis and Formula 2 and reef flake and reef pellets, and then of course the garlic powder. Now what I'm going to do is, unlike a lot of people that'll take these and you just flip them over and hopefully they'll come right out, and you punch one out and there it is. Normally people would just drop this in their tank. Okay, well, I've got a glass of water from the tank, and I'm going to drop it in there and rinse my hand off a little bit while I'm doing that, because it's fishy smelling stuff. Got a little paper towel here, dry my hand off with. And while that is soaking in the water and getting a little unfrozen, by the way, I mixed that up and put it in the freezer, I'm going to put together my turkey baster, which I have to rinse out every time I feed my fish. And I'm trying to do this all one-handed and not bounce you to death. But once I get this turkey baster put together, you're going to see what I do here. And I should have probably put the turkey baster together before I started the video, but nonetheless, we'll make it work. So, once I've got the turkey baster put together, I stick it in the glass and stir it up a little bit, and it makes a nice mess. And as you've probably figured out, I have dogs, so they only get to come in one room in the house. And have a nice little spot to set that on top of the Red Sea Max. There it is. I don't know how clearly you can see this or not, but there's all kinds of good stuff floating around in there. We suck a little bit of it up, turn it up so it doesn't drip, put it in the tank, and you can see the fish know what's going on. And the reason I do this, and I forgot one crucial step, I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute. Okay, what I forgot to do was turn my pumps off. So I always turn the pumps off so I don't get any excess food in the overflow that doesn't need to be there. Go back up here, and you can see that it's all swelling up there. Put it back down in there, and here we go. And as you can see, they pretty much know what the routine is. So that's what I do, and everybody's coming to the dance. And I'll even take a little bit of it, and I do feed my anemones separately, but I will squirt a little bit in the direction of different corals. And you can see that the colony there will close up as they take a little bit of it in. Squirt a little bit down there towards the bubble tip. But this is really a clean way to feed the tank. And then once I turn the pumps back on, and again I apologize for missing the step there, it'll stir all the stuff that they've missed back up, but we'll keep it cleaner than if I just dropped it in and had 30-40% of it go in the overflow. And you can always raise your overflow up, but you're still going to get a pretty good quantity of it back up in the overflow. So yes, does this take more time? Yeah, it takes a lot more time. But in a tank this size, where it's not going to take a whole lot to spike the ammonia level because you've overfed it 1 or 2 times, I think it's a better mechanism to keep the tank levels under control. And bear in mind, guys, that it took a day and a half, 2 days to cycle this tank, and the ammonia readings are at 0 today, 2.5 weeks later, with the addition of 7 fish and any number of corals. So, you know, it's working, and it appears that it is the right way to do it, or at least it's the way I like to do it. Now, do I do this every day? Pretty much. Now, if I'm out of town or have one of my kids do it, they're going to take a chunk of that. I'll tell them to turn the pumps off, throw a chunk of it in there, and let them eat. But for the time being, when I have the time, I'll take 10 minutes and empty this glass and target feed them. And I may have to target feed them another chunk of it if they don't act like they've had enough. But anyway, I'm going to shut it off, and we'll catch you on the flip side with the cleaning of the bottom of the tank a little bit and the water change. Thanks again. We'll be right back at you.